Segregating VLANs in a home network is an essential part of network security. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. In part 3 of this GDMS networking series, we're going to talk a little bit about firewall rules, and I'm going to show you how a few simple rules can segregate your IoT VLAN from your trusted network. Let's get started. All right, so you can see here I'm signed into GDMS.cloud, and if you notice right off the bat something different, I'm using dark mode, and if you stick around long enough at the end of the video, I'll show you how I set that up. But for now, we're on the devices page, and you can see the 3 devices that I have in this network. We have the GCC 6010, and the address is 192.168.75.1. We have the GWN 7811P, that's the switch, and the address is 75.230, and then we have the GWN 7665, that's the access point, and the IP address is 75.238. All right, so the first thing I want to do is show you the rules that I have in place, then we'll demo that the rules are actually working, and then we'll take a look behind the scenes to show you how I constructed the rules so that if you want, you can replicate them on your own home network. All right, so let's come over to the left menu, let's expand settings, let's come down to firewall and security, and then let's come over to wired firewall rules. You can see I have a series of inbound rules and I have one forwarding rule. So what's the difference? Well, if we look at the GDMS networking documentation, we could take a look here and we could see that Grandstream defines the inbound rules as such. Inbound rules control traffic entering the router from external networks. These rules are typically used to allow or restrict access to services hosted within the internal network. And if we scroll down a bit to the forwarding rules, Grandstream defines the forwarding rules as forwarding rules define how traffic is relayed across internal interfaces. These are typically used to manage routing decisions between LAN segments or VLANs within the network. And you're going to see that in action in a few minutes. So let's go back to GDMS. Let's go back to the inbound rules. I just want to go over what I have in place. We'll do a quick demo, and then as I promised, I will show you how the rules are constructed behind the scenes. So the first rule is blocking the IoT to the trusted network. We're blocking ports 22, 80, and 443 to the router itself. Then we have a second rule, which is allowing the IoT to the internet. So you can see that's an accept rule. Then we have the 3 following rules are blocking the IoT to the RFC 1918 addresses. This is the 10 address group. This is the 172 address group. And this is the 192 address group. And then finally, the last inbound rule, we're blocking ping to the router. And then if we come to the forwarding rules, we have one rule that's blocking IoT to the trusted network, which basically is denying any IoT device access to any device on the trusted network. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is that we are on the IoT Wi-Fi. I'm connected to the IoT network. Here's the address in the 192.168.10 range, so we're good to go. Let's go ahead now and see if we could ping the router. And you can see we're not getting a response from the router, and that is exactly what we want. Let's see if we can ping the switch, which is at 192.168.75.230. And again, we're not getting a response from the network switch, exactly what we want. And what the heck, let's go ahead and try to ping the access point. That's at address 238. And there you could see we're not getting a response from the access point either. So the rules are working exactly how we want. Let's go ahead now and see if we can access the router's admin page. And you can see here the router's admin login page is not loading. Let's attempt to access the admin page of the switch. And you can see we're not getting access to the network switch. And finally, let's see if we can get access to the access point admin page. And you can see here now we're not getting access to that either. However, if we go out to the internet, you can see the IoT VLAN has access to the internet. If you're getting any value in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. And also let me know down below how you're using firewalls in your home network. Now back to the video. All right, now it's time to take a look behind the scenes to see how I constructed each of the rules. Now, since there's several rules, I'm going to move quickly. However, feel free at any point in the video to pause the video if you want to take a deeper look and examine any one given rule. That said, we're going to start with the inbound rules. Block IoT to trusted on ports 22, 80, and 443. Let's click on the cog to go behind the scenes. Now there are several fields that are required when creating rules: the name field, the protocol type, the router field, and the source group. So let's take a look at this. For the name, make it something that's easy for you to identify. For me, I call it block IoT to trusted because to me, I know what that means. The status, of course, enabled. The IP family, you could leave set to any. For the protocol type, from the drop-down menu, I selected UDP and TCP because I want to block those specific ports mentioned earlier. From the router drop-down, I picked the GCC 6010. And then from the source group, I selected the IoT VLAN because that's the VLAN that I want to block from hitting the router. So, coming down to the destination IP address, I put in the IP address of the router. And then finally, the ports that I want to specifically block: port 22 SSH, port 80 HTTP, and port 443 HTTPS. The final thing to do is set your action to drop and be sure to click save when you're initially creating the rule. Okay, that said, how did I create the rule to stop ping from hitting the router? Well, let's take a look. Let's come over to that rule. Let's click on the cog. Let's go behind the scenes. Again, I called it block ping to router because it makes sense to me. Status is enabled. IP family any. But this time from the protocol dropdown, I selected ICMP. And then ICMP type, I selected any. Now you have choice of different options here. Just leave it set to any and you're good to go. From the router dropdown, again, I selected the GCC 6010, and again for the source group dropdown, I selected the IoT because I want to stop the IoT devices from being able to ping the router. Coming down to the destination IP, again, I put in the address of the router, and again, the action is set to drop. Now I'm going to hit cancel, but again, make sure you hit save. I'm hitting cancel because the rule is already created. Now, allowing the IoT network to have internet access. Let's take a look. It's a pretty simple rule. I called it allow IoT to internet. I think you get the idea by now. Status is enabled. IP family any. Protocol type all. Router GCC. Source group IoT. Destination, we want to give it the IP address of the router because that's going to be the gateway to the internet. But in this case, we want the action to be accept, and then we save. Now, the next three rules: block IoT to the 10 address network group, block IoT to the 172 address group, and block IoT to the 192 address group. These three rules are protecting your internal private address groups. Now, let's take a look at one of them. Let's look at the 10 group. All three of these rules are going to be set up exactly the same, except the name will vary a little bit and the destination IP will vary. Everything else in the center here can remain the same. So we're going to take a quick look at this one in a little detail and then a quick look at the other two just to show you the IP address changes. That said, the name, I'm calling it block IoT to the 10.x network. 10.x meaning 10.0.0.0. Status enabled, IP family any, protocol type all, router GCC 6010, source group IoT VLAN. Now, just real quick, going back to the router, if you're not using the GCC 6010 and you're using a different Grandstream router, you would select obviously that router from this drop-down menu. Destination IP address. Here's where we're protecting the entire 10 subnet or 10 network. 10.0.0.0 / the subnet mask is 8. Okay, and then finally the action is drop. The only thing that's going to vary on the other two rules is the name and then the destination IP. So let's take a look at the other two rules. Let's go to the 172, block IoT to 172. Again, I just modified the name to say block IoT to 172.x. Everything else here stayed the same. Look at the destination IP address and subnet. 172.16.0.0, and the subnet mask length is 12. And again, the action is to drop. And finally, blocking to the 192. Again, I just modified the name to say block IoT to 192.x. Rest of everything here stays the same, and the destination IP address is 192.168.0.0 / the subnet length is 16. Action, drop, save. Okay, so that takes care of all of our inbound rules, a look behind the scenes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the one forwarding rule. And this is blocking the IoT to the trusted network. Let's go behind the scenes. Now, again, remember, this is blocking any device on the IoT network from accessing the trusted network, any device on the trusted network. Okay, again, name, I called it block IoT to trusted network. Status enabled, IP family, any, protocol type, all from the drop-down. Router, again, the GCC 6010. The source group, I want to block the IoT LAN, so I selected that. And then coming down to the destination group field, from the drop-down, I selected the default LAN, which in this case is my trusted network. Action, drop, go ahead and hit save. And that takes a look at the behind the scenes of all of the rules I have in place. That's giving you pretty much a comprehensive lockdown of your network. All right, if you made it this far into the video, I want to say thank you. I hope that means you're getting some value from this content. Now, I promised you earlier that if you stayed into the end of the video, I would show you how I set up dark mode on GDMS. So let's take a quick look. So if we're on the GDMS interface, if we come up to the upper right-hand corner, click on your username, come to user settings, and then you have a list of settings you can change here. If you come down, you see it says appearance here. I have it set to dark mode. Let me click on modify so I could just show you the choices in the drop-down menu. So follow system, which is light, classic, dark, or light. So I have it set to dark, and I just simply saved it. Now, today is April 6, 2026 at the time of this recording. April 7th, 2026, another bonus tip for sticking around. Grandstream GDMS is requiring or mandating two-factor authentication. So you would set that up right here on the exact same screen. So there you go, securing your home network using simple firewall rules in GDMS networking. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to see more content like this, please click the video on the screen, and thank you so much for watching.